Alright, so this is going to be my review of Robert Kirkman's Destroyer. This is a Marvel Max comic. This was a 5-issue miniseries. And, yeah, this was when I think this was the point when Kirkman was still working at Marvel, doing Marvel Zombies and Irredeemable Ant-Man, which was the Eric O'Grady Ant-Man. And yeah, for those who don't know who Destroyer is this, I know he looks like a Skrull. And that's the thing, like, I was in the bookstore when I bought this this was in the $5 bargain bin, and I was like, and here's the funny thing, this comic book has been on that shelf for years, and it was like taunting me, and I was like, you know what, fine, fuck it, I will buy this. And it's not bad, not saying it's great, it's not like the greatest thing ever, but it has its moments, but yeah. But yeah, this was when this was the point when Robert Kirkman was still working at Marvel while he was still, doing Walking Dead and Invincible. Keep in mind, this was before, Walking Dead got the AMC treatment, and Robert Kirkman was praised as a almighty comic guy. Not to say he was bad before, I'm just saying this is when the point when Kirkman, when Kirkman had to do, Marvel stuff to keep his own stuff going, you know what I mean? Anyway, what is Destroyer? Now, Destroyer, getting back to this, Destroyer, this is a Marvel Max version of a 1940s character from back when Marvel was doing Timely Comics. And yeah, this is a Max reboot, so of course with Max Comics, you get a more bloodier comic. So, yeah. What did I think of this? This was actually not that bad. The artwork's okay, it's a little cartoony, and of course with Kirkman, you're going to see a lot of blood and guts everywhere, and some jokes here and there. And also, Kirkman is really good at writing family drama. He is very good at that. Superhero family drama. He is very good at that. And I've noticed that when I've read what little Invincible that I've read, he's very good at it, and it shows in here too. Despite how gory it is, I think this is a very good family comic in the sense that the characters of the family are written well. That's what I mean. So this 5-part miniseries focuses on the character of Destroyer, who's known as Keen Marlowe. I think that's the name. That's how you say the first name. Keen Marlowe. And he's basically dying of a weak heart. He's suffered through 2 heart attacks, and the third one may kill him. Well, actually, no, they've said that, yeah, this third heart attack will kill him. And it could happen any minute. So, Keen, now he's close to being 100 years old, they say in the comic. And he decides, you know what, I'm dying, I want to make this world safe for my wife, my daughter, and my granddaughter, and their their family in general. So, yeah, we basically follow him as he's going around brutally killing everybody, all of his villains, and everyone that could be a threat to the world. And yeah, this has a lot of fun stuff in here. Despite how gory it is, it has a lot of fun tropes in it. Like there's a golf course, a floating golf course in here, and everyone carries a laser, like a laser rifle. Like even a 10-year-old takes out a laser slingshot. It is so cool. The artwork's not that bad. It's a little cartoony, and the blood's a little cartoony, but I think that's what Robert Kirkman likes in his work. That's what I've kind of noticed throughout his workmanship. But, yeah, the character of Keen Marlowe is a very likable guy. It's a guy who wants to make the world safe for his family and the world in general before he dies, because he's pretty much the only superhero around, and, yeah, this guy, he swears, he yells at villains, but he's so loving and caring towards his wife, which his wife is African American, and we find out later on that his arch enemy Scar cut her arm off and ate it. Yeah. But this is one of the many things, but don't worry, she gets like this cool robot arm. But anyway, getting back to this is one of the many things I have a problem with this comic. They set up a lot of cool things, but they kind of switch to other things. Like, they just give you bits and pieces of everything. Like, the first villain he sets out to kill turns out to be his older brother, who can turn into this huge gelatinous monster blob thing. And he kills it very easily. And yeah, then we also get him flying into combat with this giant, Japanese-looking monster that has like all these eyes and fat Buddha belly and stuff like that. You see him just this splash page of him jumping out of a helicopter to fight this thing, and then you flip to the next page. It's him at this golf club with his family, and he's just talking about it with his former sidekick Turret, who married his daughter, and yeah, he just says, "Oh yeah, the thing turned out to be really smart, and I feel bad at killing it." Yeah. So there are some action scenes in here. They're just very short and like I actually thought when that scene came up of like him jumping out of the plane to fight the giant monster, and then it cuts to his family. I'm like, wait, are there pages missing? It took me like a full 3 minutes to figure out that these were, that's what happened. I felt a little cheated. Yeah. But no, there is some cool stuff in here. There's actually a joke that got me laughing where he's fighting these guys called the Horde, which are like a version of, like a thing of Hydra. And he's fighting them, and he grabs one of the guy's guns, and he says, "You want to know why I don't use guns? Because guns are for pussies," as he's in this splash page of him impaling a rifle through a guy's stomach. Yeah. The comic even opens with him punching a guy in the face and his head exploding. And it tells you right up from that page alone, this is the kind of comic you're going to be reading. And I'm totally okay with that. The family stuff, once again, is really sweet. Like him talking to his wife and not trying to worry her about, what he's doing and stuff like that. And she knows right off and he doesn't, and he also has his former sidekick Turret, Turret we find out, was forced to give up being that person, to being having that superhuman identity, because Destroyer forced him to have it on the grounds for his daughter's happiness, to marry her. And we find out that and Destroyer learns very quick that he was stronger and faster and even smarter than I ever was, because he watches him fight the Horde. The Horde is a bunch of Hydra guys. Look like a bunch of Hydra guys. They're human beings, but then they have these weird monster super soldiers. And then we find out that the leader of the Horde is this demon slug monster called Carcoom. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And it's literally him, Turret, ripping off Carcoom's eye, climbing into his brain and killing him from the inside out. Yeah. Robert Kirkman clearly had fun with this comic book. And then and keep in mind, this is only 5 parts, and I feel like if this were extended to maybe 8 parts, I feel like this should have been a little longer. Like maybe 6 parts, like maybe one more part would have been a little more, give us a little more. You know what I mean? Because his archenemy Scar, he kills him in issue 3, and there's still 2 more parts in here. So yeah. But the ending scene, like I said, the family stuff's really good. And this also sets up. This also has a perfect explanation of how marriages in Marvel and DC comics should work. We basically find. I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied here, but basically what happens is after being kidnapped by his archenemy Scar, Turret gets back in his costume, helps Destroyer get his daughter back. And at the hospital, he talks about her. They talk about it and stuff like that. And then later on, Turret becomes Destroyer to fight a villain called Tetronique. Tetronique, I think that's her name. And yeah, what happens next is that she comes to her father and says, "Look, I know I'm going to be worried about my husband coming home, but it would be a crime not to let him help the world. It would be, the world needs the Destroyer no matter what. The world needs my husband just as much as it needs me." And I'm like, Kirkman gets it! He fucking gets it! This is how comic book marriages in the mainstream comics should be. And I'm like, oh my god! Why? That's the perfect explanation! Rather than what Dan DiDio said, like, oh, they can't work because superhero life is so strange, And then, in this sentence alone, Kirkman totally calls bullshit of saying if they really love them so much, they will let these people go off to do what they're supposed to do. They're superheroes. They're husbands first and superheroes second. They have to let the spouses, be they husbands or wives, let their respective others go off to do their thing. So yeah, that was really good. You can tell I like this more than Avatar the Rift. Already. So, also we get a kick-ass scene in the final issue where he fights these Grim Reapers who look like ninjas. Yeah, and it's a really epic fight scene, and he just kills them all, and he says, "Next time you guys come at me, don't bring 4, bring 10." And I'm like, this guy's a crotchety old badass. It's a fun comic. Again, I wouldn't recommend this to a younger reader because it's the Marvel Max title, and yeah, as you can see right here in the cover, yeah, explicit content. So I can't recommend this to people under 18, of course. I can, however, recommend this to everyone older, and you're looking for a character that's outside of the Marvel stuff. And yeah, this is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. Again, there are some action scenes that are really short, but I think the family dynamic really plays a very good role in here. I think it plays a very good. It really plays off very well. Keen Marlowe is a very likable guy, despite being old. His wife's very likable. His whole family's very likable in general. And, it's a Robert Kirkman comic, so yeah, you're going to see a lot of blood and gore. And, yeah, I would recommend... This isn't for everybody, though, so I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. It's a good comic, but I wouldn't recommend it for, at full price. I would recommend it for, looking for it in a discount. If you're looking through Books A Million, it's on the discount shelf. But it's worth $5. That's what I'm saying. It's definitely a $5 worth comic. You'll have fun for what your money has. You'll get fun for what you paid for. So yeah, 3 out of 5, pretty good. And yeah, that's my review of Destroyer. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm out.